Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Splashing Paint. This time, I'll be trying my hand at painting up a Boyg Soldier. First up, that magic in a bottle, GW's Black Templar. I'll go ahead and splash this stuff all over the rocket launcher and into all the nooks and crannies. This can get a little messy, but that's alright. You can go back and clean it up later. Time to add a bit of color to the rocket launcher. For this, I went with GW's Gryph-Hound Orange. I want to get as close to the box art as possible, so I rummaged through my paint pots to find colors as close as possible. Plus, I need an excuse to using orange contrast paint. Now it's time to add a bit of shadow to the white armor. I went with GW's Apothecary White. This is my usual method when dealing with white armor, and after painting over 60 stormtroopers, I can say this works best for me. I go ahead and apply this all over the white armor plates. I try not to apply it too thick. I don't want it to run wild. But as usual, you can just clean it up afterwards. And let's be honest, painting white is hard. Time to finish up the white armor. And for this, I went with GW's Ulthuan Gray. I'll go around highlighting all the armor panels, making sure to leave some Apothecary White in the recesses. Plus this gives me an excuse to do a few touch-ups. Next up is the blue armor sections. I went with Sapphire Gem from Army Painting. This is one of the hardest decisions I had to make when selecting the colors to tackle this part of the model. Lucky for me, after casually walking by the paint racks at my local shop, I was able to get a base, mid, and highlight color perfect for this job. I'll go ahead and splash on a few coats of the base color. I gotta say, Army Painter really saved me from spending at least a week just staring at my shelves of paint trying to pick the right shades of blue. Time for the mid color, and for this, Crystal Blue was next. I run around all the blue armor plating, painting the middle sections and leaving the darker base color in the recess areas. Highlighting time. Ionic blue is last. Highlighting is by far the best part of painting miniatures, right? Yeah, no. Honestly, this took me a few off-camera takes to fix all of my chunky lines, and there were a lot of them. I powered through it and made a few passes around the model, attempting to get my lines as crisp as possible. Time for a little detailing, and GW's Mephiston Red is up. I use this to do the details around the eyes and faceplate. I also use this to do the armor plate markings. I'm trying to be as neat as possible here, so sadly, this is not the time to just splash paint on. I want to give the armor as much detail as possible. Otherwise, it's just a mass of white and off-white panels. I went with Vallejo's Chainmail Silver for the metal highlights. I take my time and paint the armor's edges and shoulders. Let's not forget that sweet rocket launcher. Wash time. I splashed Drakenhof Nightshade all over the previous metal highlighted areas. To me, it gives a nice blue steel look. Just be careful not to get it on any of the white armor plates. Basing time. I'm going with GW's Astrogranite Debris. I want to have a neutral tone to the ground before covering it in the next step. I use this stuff to base my entire Astra Militarum army. After letting the basing paste dry, I splash Agrax Earthshade all over it. I like to let it pool in all the cracks and crevices. This will add definition to the otherwise dull gray basing. Time to highlight that base. An Army Painter Field Gray is chosen. I use this to dry brush the now darkened base, adding more detail and making the base pop. We're at the final step now. It's time to add some snow effects to this base. I went with GW's Valhallan Blizzard. And with that, this heavily armored Boyg Soldier is done. I went ahead and did the rim and directional markings off camera. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate everyone's support while I video blog through my pile of shame. As always, please like and subscribe, and head over to my Instagram to check out all of my past finished projects.